How long have you been kissing my husband in the office? I helped him build. Zara's voice was soft, almost like a whisper, but it felt like it broke the whole room. The glass door to Donovan's office was open just a little, like a door between the happy life Zara thought she had and the sad thing she was now seeing. Through that small opening, sunlight shined on the floor. The light caught the shiny gold on Sienna's blouse as she leaned over Donovan's desk. Her Donovan. And he was kissing Sienna. Not a short kiss, but one that looked deep and full of feelings. His hands were around Sienna's waist like he didn't want to let her go. Sienna's curly hair was around his face like a picture Zara never wanted to see. They didn't see Zara. Not at first. She stood still. Her hand shook as she held a lunchbox full of jerk chicken and coconut rice. She had made it for Donovan with love that morning. Now it felt like a big, sad joke. Then Sienna looked up and saw her. Sienna didn't look scared or sorry. She smiled. Before we keep going, tell us what country you're watching from. We love hearing from our family around the world. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share more powerful stories like this one. Now, back to the story. The lunchbox in Zara's hand felt heavy. She had worked hard to cook that food just to make Donovan smile. She had driven through traffic, happy to surprise him. She even dressed up nicely in a blazer and heels. The office was full of people working on computers, but Zara didn't see them. She walked toward Donovan's office. The glass door was open just a little, and through that small space, she saw something that broke her heart. Donovan, her husband, wearing his nice navy blue suit, was standing at his desk. And on that desk sat Sienna. Not just any woman, her Sienna. The same woman Zara had helped years ago when she was a shy intern. Zara had taught her how to be strong and smart in the business world. She had treated her like a younger sister. Now, Sienna was kissing Donovan like she had done it many times before. The sunlight touched her shiny earrings. The kiss was long and full of passion, like it had been happening for months. Zara felt like she couldn't breathe. The lunchbox shook in her hand. She didn't move, she just watched. The rest of the office was still working. Phones were ringing, people were typing, but it all felt far away now. A few workers saw her, but they quickly looked away. No one said anything. The kiss wasn't the only painful thing. It was the fact that they didn't hide it. They did it in the open, behind glass walls, like they didn't care who saw. Zara's heart was beating fast. Her thoughts were spinning. This couldn't be happening. She had helped Donovan build this company. She gave him money, time, and love. And Sienna, who Zara had trained and supported, was now standing beside her husband like she belonged there. All the late nights, the work events, the smiles between Donovan and Sienna, they now made sense. Zara had missed the signs. Donovan was always working late. Sienna was always around. Their laughs had started sounding too friendly. Zara pushed the door open wider. The small sound it made felt loud. Sienna looked at her again. There was no fear, just a slow smile that made Zara's stomach hurt. Sienna leaned in for one last kiss before getting off the desk. Her blouse was a little messy, but she looked proud, not ashamed. Donovan turned around. His eyes used to shine when they were in college. Now they looked cold. He didn't look sorry. He didn't even act surprised. "Zara," Sienna said, smiling sweetly. "You're early." Her words felt like a slap. Like Zara had walked into the wrong room. Donovan cleared his throat and fixed his tie like he was going into a business meeting. "It's not what it looks like," he said, but his words were empty. Zara didn't believe them. He didn't even try to sound sorry. Zara's throat hurt. She wanted to cry. She wanted to scream. She wanted to throw the lunchbox at the glass wall and break everything. But she didn't. She stood tall. She held her head high, even though her hands shook. The lunchbox reminded her of who she was that morning. A loving wife, a smart woman, someone who worked hard for everything. She didn't want them to see her break. Not yet. "How long?" she asked, her voice quiet but sharp like broken glass. Donovan looked at Sienna. It was a look full of secrets. Then he said, 6 months. 6 months. Zara remembered the retreat in Miami. She had planned the whole trip. Donovan and Sienna had stayed late to work. She had even thanked Sienna and told her she looked nice in her red dress. The memory now made her feel sick. Sienna fixed her skirt and smiled again. We didn't want you to find out like this, she said softly, like she cared. But Zara knew she didn't. Zara's eyes felt hot, but she wouldn't cry. Not here. Not in front of them. She took a step back, the lunchbox still in her hand. She had come with love, but she was walking away with pain. Donovan opened his mouth, maybe to lie again. But Zara gave him a look that stopped him. She didn't want to hear more. Would she walk away forever? Or would she fight? She didn't know yet. But she knew one thing. She wouldn't let them erase her. Zara's hand touched the glass door. Her fingers shook, but she didn't close it. She wouldn't run. Not yet. The air in the office felt heavy. Sienna's smile still hung in the air like a bad smell. Zara's heart beat so loud she could barely hear anything else. The lunchbox in her hand reminded her of the love she had come with, and the life she thought she had. She stood tall, her voice steady even though it hurt to talk. 6 months? She asked again. You've been doing this for half a year and thought I'd never find out? Donovan leaned on his desk. He looked calm, like nothing big had happened. Zara, let's not make this a scene, he said in a quiet voice. It was the same voice he used in meetings. It was a mistake, a weak moment. His words were empty. His eyes didn't look sad. They looked annoyed. Sienna stood there, fixing her blouse slowly. She didn't look sorry at all. Honestly, Zara, Sienna said, her voice light and rude, you're making too big a deal out of this. We didn't plan to hurt you. Zara felt angry. Sienna used the same sweet voice she had used years ago when Zara helped her. Back then, Sienna was just a young girl learning the ropes. Now she was stealing Zara's husband and acting like she had done nothing wrong. Hurt me? Zara said, her voice full of anger. You're sitting on my husband's desk, kissing him in front of everyone, and I'm overreacting? Sienna's smile stayed, but her eyes looked mean now. We didn't mean for you to see this, she said. But let's be honest, Zara. You and Donovan haven't been happy for a while. Everyone knows it. That hit Zara hard. It was true Donovan had been distant. They barely talked. But hearing it from Sienna felt like a deep cut. Donovan stepped forward. Zara, we need to talk calmly, he said, raising his hands like he was trying to stop a fight. This thing with Sienna, it just happened. We didn't mean to hurt you. Just happened? Like it was nothing? Like they spilled juice? Zara looked at the lunchbox. She had spent all morning cooking that meal to make Donovan smile. Now it just reminded her how foolish she had been. How long have you been lying to me? She asked, her voice sharp. Donovan paused. He looked at Sienna again, like they were sharing a secret. Since the Miami retreat, he said. Zara remembered the palm trees, the party, Sienna's red dress, Donovan laughing with her. Zara had called Sienna her hero that night. Now it felt like poison. Sienna crossed her arms and looked bored. Look, Zara, she said in a fake nice voice, this might be a good thing. You and Donovan aren't the same power couple you used to be. He needs someone who understands him and his dreams. She was saying she was better for Donovan. Zara's hand gripped the lunchbox harder. It almost cracked. She wanted to throw it, but she didn't. She kept her pride. Donovan stepped closer, trying to look kind now. We can fix this, he said gently. Let's go home. Talk. No need to make it messy. Messy, like her pain was a problem. Zara looked at both of them. Donovan looked calm. Sienna looked proud. Zara stood in the room watching Donovan and Sienna standing close together. They looked like a team. But Zara felt like she didn't belong anymore, like she was a stranger in her own marriage. She took a small step back. Her high heels didn't wobble, even though she felt like crying inside. Work it out, Zara repeated slowly. Her voice was cold. Do you think I will just sit here and talk about how I've been hurt? Sienna's smile faded just a little bit, like a small crack in glass. Donovan only sighed like she was being annoying. "Zara, don't do this," he said. "You're upset. I understand, but let's act like grown-ups." That made Zara even more upset. The way he spoke like she was a child made her feel angry. She turned to leave, her heart beating fast. This wasn't just about a kiss, it was about everything. Her life, her trust, and how much she had given to them both. As she reached for the door, Sienna called out loudly, her voice sharp. "You can't just leave, Zara. This is happening, whether you like it or not." Zara stopped, her back still facing them. She was holding a lunchbox. It felt heavy, not just in her hand, but in her heart. She wasn't going to let them see her cry. Not here, not now. She walked away. Her heels made clicking sounds on the floor as she entered her apartment. Each step was her way of trying to forget the picture of Donovan and Sienna standing together. Their faces were stuck in her mind. She put the lunchbox on the kitchen counter. She hadn't even opened it. It reminded her of the morning when she still believed her marriage was real. She sat on her green sofa and looked out at the blurry city. Her hands shook as she opened her laptop. She wanted to know how everything went so wrong. She remembered that she still had access to Donovan's work email from years ago when she helped him with his new company. She hadn't used it in a long time because she trusted him, but now that trust felt like a trap. She looked through the emails and found one folder called Client Referrals. Inside, there were emails between Sienna and another event planning company called Elite Occasions. Her breath caught as she read one of the messages. "Zara's too busy with her own work. I think you should use Elite. They're more dependable," Sienna had written. She had even given contact information for 3 of his biggest clients, including a fashion company Zara had worked hard to win over. The emails were from 6 months ago, just after a business trip to Miami. That's when Sienna started secretly taking her work. Sienna didn't just take Donovan, she was also trying to destroy Zara's job. Zara had started her company, Vibrant Visions, from nothing. She spent late nights drawing plans, talking to clients, and planning events. Sienna had sat in those meetings and watched how Zara worked. Then she used what she learned to hurt her. The memory of Sienna in a red dress at the Miami event popped into Zara's head. She had smiled and helped clean up. Zara had thanked her, not knowing what Sienna was really doing. Zara closed her laptop hard, her chest going up and down quickly. Her apartment, full of pretty furniture and colorful art, now felt fake. She needed air. She needed someone who cared. She grabbed her purse and went to her favorite coffee shop, Brew and Beat, where she was meeting her best friend Tessa. Tessa worked in PR and was really smart and strong. The warm lights and music at the shop made Zara feel a little better as she sat down. "Tell me everything," Tessa said, giving her a warm latte. Zara told her about what happened in Donovan's office, the kiss, Sienna's smirk, and how Donovan didn't care. Tessa's face got serious, but when Zara showed her the emails, Tessa leaned closer, tapping the table. "That sneaky snake," Tessa said. "I heard people talking about Sienna getting close to Donovan at a party. I didn't tell you because I thought it was just gossip." "I'm sorry, Zara." Zara nodded. The truth hurt, but Tessa's anger made her feel less alone. "It's not just the cheating," Zara said. "She gave my biggest clients to Elite like I'm no good." She showed Tessa a screenshot of the emails. Tessa's eyes narrowed as she looked at the screen. "This isn't just personal," she said. "Sienna wants to look powerful at Donovan Company. She's not just the other woman, she wants to be his business partner." That word, partner, hurt Zara. She could picture Sienna standing next to Donovan, doing her job, taking her place. Tessa sipped her coffee and said, "You built Vibrant Visions all by yourself, and you helped Donovan build his company too. They're treating you badly, but we can do something about it." "I know a blogger," Tessa added. "She writes about women in tech. If she sees these emails, Sienna's reputation could be ruined." Zara thought about it. She felt scared to share her private pain with the world. but thinking about Sienna's proud face made her want to take action. The emails were not just proof of cheating. They showed that Sienna had been trying to destroy Zara's hard work. Donovan had ignored what was happening, or maybe he helped. That thought made Zara feel stronger. She wasn't just a hurt wife, she was a smart woman who built her own business. "I'm not ready to share this publicly," Zara said, "but I want to find out everything. I want to know how deep this goes." Tessa nodded. "I'll help. I know people. I'll ask around." Zara felt hope for the first time that day. The world outside the coffee shop looked alive again. She wasn't ready for a big fight, but she wouldn't let them win. The emails were just the beginning. What else were they hiding? Later, Zara sat at her desk, drawing a big idea for a new fashion show using cool lights and 3D pictures. Her office, with its walls full of drawings and fabric samples, felt like a safe place again. She was meeting Mrs. Thompson, the boss of Luxwear, a fashion brand she almost lost because of Sienna. This was her chance to prove she was still great at her job. Mrs. Thompson came in, her hair in a bun and her eyes serious. "I've heard Elite is good," she said, "but people say good things about you too." Zara smiled, even though her heart was racing. She showed her the design on a big screen. It had glowing lights and music and models walking with cool effects. "This isn't just a show," Zara said. "It's an experience." Mrs. Thompson looked interested, but said, "Elite said you were too busy lately." That hurt. Sienna's email had reached her, but Zara didn't give up. "I built my company from one client to many," she said. "If I'm busy, it's because I care. Elite is just copying me." She showed a slide with happy reviews from other clients. "This show will make Luxwear go viral. I'm giving you something special." Mrs. Thompson smiled a little. "You've got fire, Zara. I like that." After looking at the pages, she said, "Elite is cheaper, but your idea is better. You're hired." Zara felt proud. She got her client back, not with anger, but with her talent. As she signed the papers, her phone buzzed. It was Donovan. She ignored it at first, enjoying her win. But the phone kept buzzing. Later, she picked up. Donovan sounded calm, like he was doing business. "We need to talk about the condo. You should start packing." His words hit her hard. He wanted her to leave their home. She heard Sienna laughing in the background. That made Zara even angrier. "Packing?" Zara said. "You think I'll just leave because you chose to cheat with your worker?" "The condo is in my name," Donovan said. "You know that." Zara felt her hand tighten. She had helped him buy that condo with her money when his business had no money. Now he was trying to push her out. "My money helped buy that place," she said. She heard Sienna whisper something, but she couldn't hear the words. It didn't matter. She was done being quiet. "I'm not leaving," she said. "If you want me out, fight for it." "Be reasonable," Donovan said. "Sienna and I are moving on. You need to accept it." That made Zara even more upset. He was acting like she didn't matter. She ended the call. She looked around her office. It was full of her hard work. She wasn't going to let them erase everything she had built. But now she understood. This wasn't just about love. It was about power. Who would tell the story of her life? Her or them? She walked to the window and looked at the big city. Sienna tried to ruin her job. Donovan tried to take her home. But Zara had won back a client, and that showed she could win more. She remembered Tessa's idea about the blog. It was risky, but the thought of wiping that smile off Sienna's face felt good. Her reflection in the window looked strong. She wasn't broken. She had built everything herself. Her phone buzzed again. A text from Tessa. "Got a lead. Sienna's been sweet-talking Donovan investors. Call me." Zara smiled. Sienna wasn't just trying to take her husband. She was also messing with his company. And companies can fall. Zara put her phone away. Her mind was already thinking about her next move. She needed more than a win. She needed power. The city below was full of lights and noise, full of big dreams. Zara looked out the window and felt something strong in her heart. She didn't just want to live quietly anymore. She wanted to win. Her high heels made click-clack sounds as she walked across the shiny floor of a big law office. Outside the window, the tall buildings of Atlanta sparkled like stars. But Zara's heart still hurt. Donovan, her husband, had told her to leave their home. That made her angry. But when she beat Mrs. Thompson in court, it made her feel strong again. She wasn't going to run away, not from her home, not from her job, not from the fight. She had gotten a message from her best friend, Tessa. Tessa said that Sienna, Donovan's assistant, was working behind Zara's back. She was talking to Donovan investors and making sneaky plans. Zara was ready to fight. Regina, a kind but serious woman with gray hair and long braids, sat behind a big wooden desk. She was a lawyer who helped women take down powerful men. She looked at some papers and said, "Let's talk about what you're facing." Zara told her everything, how Donovan yelled at her and told her to move out, how she saw emails that showed Sienna was trying to hurt her work. Regina didn't say anything at first. She just tapped her pen. But when Zara said the house was in Donovan's name, Regina looked up and said, "He planned all of this." Regina showed her papers. Donovan had secretly taken the money they shared and moved it into his own company's accounts over the past year. "He wants to leave you with nothing if you get divorced," she said. Zara felt sick. She had helped Donovan build his company. She gave up her own dreams to help him, and now he was using all that against her. "He thinks he's too powerful to be stopped," Zara said with tears in her eyes. "He and Sienna both." Regina gave a small smile. "They're not unstoppable. Donovan acts like he's the best CEO and family man, but he's cheating on you with his assistant. That's a big deal. If we show what he did with your money, it will hurt his image." She slid a paper over to Zara. "This is a plan for divorce. We'll ask for half the house, half the company, and we'll make them check all his accounts with a special audit. His investors won't like that." Zara's heart beat faster. It was a big plan. She was scared, but the thought of Donovan getting nervous made her feel a little better. "How far can we take this?" she asked. "As far as you want," Regina said with shining eyes. "He thinks you'll stay quiet. Show him you won't." That night, Zara met Tessa at a quiet bar with glowing lights. Tessa had her laptop open. On the screen was a big title, "Startup CEO's Affair Threatens His Company." Tessa looked at her with serious eyes. "I'm ready to post this online. I have proof. Sienna has been telling Donovan investors that she's the real genius. She wants to take your place and sit on the company's board." Zara gasped. Sienna wasn't just taking her husband. She was pretending that Zara never helped build the company. "That's why she tried to steal my clients," Zara said. "She's using everything I worked for. She's been having fancy dinners with investors, telling them she'll take over if Donovan messes up," Tessa said. "This blog post will tell the world what she's doing." Zara looked at the screen. It would make Donovan and Sienna look really bad, but it would also show everyone Zara's pain. She took a deep breath. The drink in her hand felt hot, like the fire inside her chest. "Do it," she said at last. "But I want more. I want to know every little thing they've done." Tessa smiled. "I know someone at TechBit who can help. We'll find emails, money records, everything." Zara nodded. She wasn't just reacting now, she was planning. She had helped build the condo, the company, and her job. They were hers. Donovan and Sienna thought she would break, but she wouldn't. She remembered Regina's words, "You're fighting for your worth." Zara's eyes sparkled in the neon light. She would need more than just emails to win, but this was the beginning. Donovan and Sienna's lies were weak, and lies could be broken. Just then her phone buzzed. A message from Donovan. "We need to settle this. Meet me tomorrow. No sorry, no please, just another order." Zara stared at the message. He still thought he was in charge. But she wasn't the same woman who used to bring him lunch and smile. The next morning, Zara walked through the Atlanta Convention Center. Her heels clicked on the floor. She was wearing a dark blue blazer that made her look strong. She was going to speak at a big event about event planning and technology. Donovan's message was still in her head, but she pushed it away. Tessa's blog post had gone viral that morning. Everyone was talking about it. The title, Startup CEO's Affair Threatens Empire, was everywhere. People at the conference whispered and looked at Zara. She held her head high. She was ready to tell her story. She looked in a mirror backstage and saw herself. She didn't look broken. She looked powerful. The article had shown how Sienna and Donovan were sneaky. It told how Sienna lied to investors and made herself sound like the real boss. People didn't trust them now. Zara's phone buzzed. A message from Tessa. Investors are freaking out. Keep shining. The stage manager pointed to Zara. It was her turn. She walked onto the stage, bright lights shining on her. The room became quiet. Events aren't just about planning, she said. They tell stories and make people feel something. She talked about her big ideas for events. People nodded and smiled. One man in the front row even took notes. Zara felt proud. She wasn't just Donovan's wife. She was Zara Montgomery, a leader. When she finished, the crowd clapped loudly. As she walked off stage, Sienna appeared. She looked fancy, but her face was angry. "You're playing dirty," Sienna said in a quiet but mean voice. "That blog post was too much." Zara smiled. "Dirty?" she asked. "You stole my clients, you stole my husband, now you're upset because people know the truth?" Sienna's face turned red. "You're ruining everything. Donovan's company. My job." "Your job?" Zara said, raising her voice a little. "You learned from me. Then you turned against me." A tall man nearby stopped to listen. Zara knew him. He was Julian Chen, one of Donovan's big investors. Zara turned to him and said, "Did Sienna tell you she's been saying bad things about my company to steal my clients? Isn't that wrong for someone who works with Donovan?" Julian looked surprised. He stared at Sienna. "Is that true?" Sienna looked nervous. "It's complicated," she said. But Julian walked away, pulling out his phone. Zara's heart pounded. She had won that moment. But her phone buzzed again. Another message from Donovan. "Meet me at the office. 6 p.m., no games." It sounded like his usual bossy style, but the timing showed he was nervous. The article had shaken him. Zara looked out the window at the twinkling city. Sienna had failed to get her board seat. The investors were scared, but Donovan was not done fighting. Zara remembered Regina's plan. If they used the big audit, Donovan could be in real trouble. She saw her reflection in the glass. She didn't see the old her anymore. She saw a warrior. She straightened her blazer and walked to the meeting. Later that day, she entered Donovan's company office. The room was big and quiet. A long table sat in the middle and the city lights glowed through tall windows. Donovan sat across from her, looking serious. His tie was loose and he looked a little tired. Sienna sat next to him, fidgeting. Regina came with Zara. Her calm face and strong outfit made her look like a knight. Donovan said, "Let's end this nicely," and pushed a folder toward her. "Half the condo and some money." Regina laughed. "Nicely? This is an insult," she said. "You took her money and put it into your company. That's cheating, and we have proof." Sienna looked scared. "You can't prove that." But Regina pushed a big binder forward. "These are the records. Bank transfers, emails, all the proof we need. If you don't agree," Regina added, "we'll ask the court for a full check of your company. Your investors will hate that." Donovan's hand clenched. His knuckles turned white. Zara felt proud. She was watching the man who once hurt her now look scared because of what he had done. "You're lying," Donovan said, but his voice didn't sound strong anymore. Zara leaned closer and looked straight into his eyes. "Try me," she said with a strong voice. "You thought I would just walk away quietly, Donovan. You thought you could make me disappear from our home, our life, and your company, but I'm not the one hiding." Then she looked at Sienna, who looked very nervous. "And you," Zara said to her, "you got your job because I helped you. Then you turned around and hurt me just to get ahead. How does that seat on the company board feel now?" Sienna opened her mouth, but she couldn't say anything. She looked like her big plans were falling apart. Regina, Zara's lawyer, tapped a binder and said clearly, "We want half the value of the condo, 20% of your company, and full truth about all your money." Zara helped build this company in beginning. Her money and hard work made it possible. She deserves her share. Donovan's eyes got narrow. He looked angry again. 20%? That's crazy. This company is my dream. I made it. Zara gave a short laugh. Your dream? I worked 2 jobs to help pay the bills while you talked to investors. I planned your business trips. I made your clients feel welcome. That's our dream. It's made of both our work. Sienna slammed her notebook shut. This is blackmail. You're trying to ruin us, she shouted. Zara looked at her calmly. Ruin you? She said softly. You already did that yourselves. 6 months of lies. You took my clients, my life. This isn't blackmail. This is justice. Everyone in the room went quiet. Outside the window, the sounds of the city were soft and far away. Zara saw Donovan starting to look worried. His company investors were already afraid after reading the blog post Tessa wrote. They were thinking of taking back their money. Sienna's dream of being on the company board was falling apart. Zara's heart was beating fast, not because she was scared, but because she was strong. She had walked into this meeting thinking she might lose, but now things were different. Regina had her binder, Tessa had written the truth online, and Zara had found her courage. All these things were her tools, and she knew how to use them. Sienna leaned toward Donovan and whispered loudly, "Don't give her anything. Fight back." Donovan gave her a look full of annoyance. "Enough, Sienna," he said. Zara noticed how they weren't on the same side anymore. She saw an opening and took it. "Changing your mind, Donovan?" she asked. "Maybe now you're seeing that Sienna's dreams aren't worth losing everything." Sienna's face turned red and she looked away. Zara smiled a little. She could tell they weren't a strong team anymore. Donovan leaned back in his chair and looked tired. "What do you want, Zara?" he asked. "To destroy me, to take everything." Zara's eyes were strong. "I want what belongs to me," she said. "The condo, the company shares, and the respect you both threw away. I'm not here to destroy you, Donovan. I'm here to survive you." Those words hit him hard. For the first time, Donovan looked at Zara like she was a strong woman, not someone he could ignore. Regina shut her binder loudly. "You have 48 hours to give us a new offer, or we go to court. The audit, the lawsuit, the news stories, they're all ready," she said. She stood up and told Zara to come. But Zara stayed for one moment longer. She looked at Donovan. He didn't look strong anymore. He looked small. His business was shaking, and his proud look was gone. Sienna stared at the table, holding her notebook tight like it could save her, even though everything was falling apart. Zara stood up slowly, her blazer-like armor. She had come to fight, and she had won this round. But the full fight wasn't over yet. Just as she was about to leave, Donovan spoke softly. "Zara," he said, his voice low. "I didn't want it to end like this." Zara turned around. Her face was calm. "You ended it 6 months ago," she said. "I'm just writing the ending." Her words stayed in the room as she walked out with Regina. The city lights outside sparkled like a world full of new chances. This fight had changed Zara. She had become strong, unbreakable. But now, what would Donovan and Sienna do in the next 48 hours? Give up or try to fight back? 6 months later, Zara's new apartment was bright with morning light. It had an open space, clean furniture, colorful art on the walls, and a desk full of event designs. After the meeting, they had signed papers with Regina. Zara got half of the condo's value and a part of Donovan's company. With the money, she bought this home, a peaceful place to start again. She built a new company called Vibrant Visions, where she made amazing events, but the best prize wasn't money. It was self-respect. She sipped her coffee and looked at the tall buildings outside. Then she looked at the email she got yesterday. A person who makes documentaries had invited her to share her story. They were making a series about strong women. The The settlement wasn't easy. Donovan took longer than 48 hours. His lawyers worked hard because investors were afraid of the audit. In the end, Donovan gave in. His company was still standing, but smaller. Sienna lost her job, clients didn't trust her anymore, and other companies didn't want her either. Zara didn't feel happy about that, just peaceful. The bad feelings were gone. She put her coffee mug down and opened her laptop. She had a big new event to plan. Mrs. Thompson had trusted her, and the event was a big success. Now, more clients were calling her. Zara's phone buzzed. It was a message from Elias, a nice man she met at a business party. "Can't wait for dinner tonight," it said. Elias had a happy laugh and truly liked Zara for who she was. Their dates were slow and sweet, not rushed like things had been with Donovan. Zara looked at the documentary email again. The producer said she was the woman who wouldn't fade. She felt nervous. Telling her story would mean remembering the pain, the kiss in Donovan's office, Sienna's sneaky smile, the emails that showed they had lied. But it would also help others see that being hurt doesn't mean you stay down. She typed her reply, "I'm in, let's talk." She pressed send. Power filled her heart. This wasn't revenge, it was healing. She turned her scars into strength. Later, Tessa called, excited. "Did you hear about Sienna?" she said. "She's looking for a job, but no one wants to hire her now." Zara looked out the window. "What about Donovan?" she asked. Tessa laughed. "His company lost another investor. He's doing consulting now. He's not famous anymore." Zara smiled a little. Their problems were because of their own choices, not her actions. She had only asked for what was fair, and now she was free. That afternoon, she got ready for her date with Elias. He arrived with sunflowers and a big smile. "You look amazing," he said kindly. At a small, cozy restaurant, they talked about her events, his designs, and how they had both been hurt before. "Your story is amazing, Zara," Elias said. "Not many people get back up like you did." She held his hand and smiled. There was hope again, a future without lies. That night, Zara sat on her balcony. The cool breeze touched her skin. The city lights sparkled below. Donovan and Sienna were part of her past now. Their lives were over. She thought about the documentary and the women who might see it. Her story could help them feel strong too. Her life wasn't about getting even. It was about knowing her worth and standing up for it. The pain didn't break her. It made her stronger. Zara Montgomery wasn't just someone who had been hurt. She was a builder, a fighter, a bright light. The stars shined in the sky. She thought of the woman she used to be, the one who walked into Donovan's office with a lunchbox and hope. That woman was gone. Now, she was someone who stood tall and brave. Her story wasn't just hers. It was for every girl and woman who had ever been pushed aside. She had chosen to be strong, and because of that, she found herself. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Elias. "Tonight was amazing. See you soon." She smiled as she wrote back. Her heart felt light. The future was bright, and it belonged to her. As Zara's story ends, remember this: being hurt can make you stronger. She turned pain into power and took back her life with courage. What's your brave story? Share it with us in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to hear more strong, powerful stories. Thank you for being with us. Until next time, stay brave and keep going.